everyone. My name is Nikki Prisma,
And I'm Scott Marlin.
and we are going to be sharing with you a little story song. This is an interactive story song in which we will be doing a little bit of call and response. It'll be super fun. We also encourage you to dance along with us when that song does come through. And this story, we've adapted to song, is titled Icanchu's Drum. It's from the Montaco tribe of the Amazonian region. And I originally heard this story on a podcast that we love called The Living Myth by Michael Mead. So if you're interested in hearing his version, check him out. So without further ado, we will begin. This story begins in a time when the earth got so hot. The earth got so hot that the atmosphere actually caught on fire. Everything was burning, the trees, the brush. The mountains caught fire and burnt to the ground. There was nothing left, no beings. There are no beings left except for, of course, two bird beings, half man, half bird, that for one reason or another had to go to the other world. Upon returning from the other world, they saw that what was left of their home was nothing but a sea of ash. Completely grief-stricken, they wanted nothing more at this point than to return to their place of origin, but they had no idea which way was north, south, east, west. So flying around in circles of confusion, they desperately needed help. And then a trickster appeared. And you're probably thinking, well, I thought everything was gone and everything was dead. Well, this reminds us, just as in this world, there is always magic to be found and tricks to be had just when everything seems lost and gone. So the trickster gave them instructions. He said, if you want to find your place of origin, you must fly. Fly with your index finger, pointing straight in front of you, and follow it. And as it starts to quake, it will point down, down, and you will know that that is your place of origin. So the two bird beings set out, Icanchu and Chuna by name. And just as the trickster predicted, their fingers started to quake and point down, so they flew down and hit the earth. Upon hitting the earth, they became hungry. It's as if the contact with the earth element made them reunite with their instincts. And so they started to dig for anything that resembled food. Icanchu and Chuna dug, and Icanchu found something. And he picked it up, held it to his face, and saw that it was just a piece of charcoal, just an old burnt piece of wood. And he started to think of what this was before. It was a beautiful tree, and his home was a sea of trees and green and beauty. And oh, he longed for them. But then he remembered also that drums are made from trees as well. They are too the remains of trees. So without further thought on the matter, he started to play it like it was a real drum. He really liked the way this felt, made him feel good, and he became infected with his own rhythm and started to dance, move both his feet around, and he said, well, if I'm dancing, I might as well be singing too. And this is the part where we all can join together in song and dance. Scott will be the So Icanchu kept singing and dancing, knowing that this simple, beautiful act was giving him energy and courage to face his reality. And so he kept on singing and dancing, and of course Chuna was there, just meditating on the whole thing, watching this unravel, bearing witness. Icanchu played all day into the night, and eventually he got tired and he fell asleep. And as he slept, some magic was unfolding. For when he awoke, he remembered his wonderful charcoal drum and began to search for it. But when he found it, that's not all that was there. For the charcoal drum had split in two, and from the center grew a tender, fresh shoot. Witnessing this fresh life and beauty, Icanchu began to sing and dance again. He sang louder and he danced harder. As he sang and danced and chanted, he saw that he was indeed co-creating life with his imagination, creative spirit. For when he danced and sang, that little, small, green shoot grew bigger and bigger until it resembled a small tree. It was slender at first and started to thicken up, and eventually grew taller and taller until it shot out branches in all directions. Oh, he was so happy. He danced, feet shuffling around, until his foot hit a stone. He looked down at the stone, picked it up in his bare hand without any thought, hurled the stone right at the tree. It hit one of the branches of the tree and fell to the ground. This action continued, multiplied. He continued to pick up stones and hurl them at the tree, one after another. And yes, you're probably thinking, well, this is a great change of pace from the side of creation to now this destructive energy. But this reminds us that creation and destruction, they're on the same continuum. And sometimes it is destruction that helps move the song of life further along. And in this case, that's exactly what was happening. Because as these branches fell from the tree to the ground, those branches split and shot up new species of tree. One after another, trees started to sprout until it was eventually a sea of a diverse forest. This forest that we now call the Amazon. This forest brought the clouds brought the rain, water. The water brought the beings. And eventually, humans returned respectfully as well. The story of creation has been passed down for many, many, many years. And this tree has been given many names. The tree of life, the spirit tree, from which the original shamans are said to have climbed in order to seek higher wisdom for the healing of life. This story I love very much because it reminds us that it takes immense courage to face the reality of the troubles of the world, and that sometimes when it seems like all is lost, that destruction, that seemingly imminent destruction of the world is actually what helps move the song of life further along. Thank you so much for joining us. I really hope you enjoyed. Again, my name is Nikki.
And I'm Scott.
And we hope to be seeing you around soon. Thank you.